3 full-time laborers that replaced those 3 MEO positions, and so far they're working out very well. We hired 1 motor equipment operator, and the highway equipment maintenance mechanic that I told you last month was going to be starting, decided not to take the
Didn't
job.
work out so good.
No, he came in very briefly and left, and I never saw him again, so. So that position is still open, and we haven't got any other applications on it. And I have 2 employees out on extended sick leave. New business, it's not really new business, but I just want to kind of discuss where we're at with, I'm sure some of the towns are having the same issue. Our vehicle and heavy equipment purchases. Up until just recently, none of the manufacturers, like Dodge, Chevy, Ford, we couldn't find anything on any municipal bids for pickups, small dump trucks, stuff like that. Just recently, OGS was kind of back online with some of that stuff. We're in the process of trying to put in some mini bids, some of the equipment we're looking at. And some of the bigger equipment, the issue we're having is nobody will give us they'll give us a quote, but they're good for anywhere from 10 to 30 days, which, as we know, the process, and we ran into this last year a little bit, the county process, by the time it goes through the various committees and gets back to where I have a resolution, we're past that time frame. So I didn't know if there was a way we could maybe put a cap on, in the resolution that says not to exceed this price, so that if there is price increases during that period, we can still purchase the vehicle unless it goes above that cap, and then it would have to come back to
Didn't we
resolution.
authorize those purchases already? You're saying that you're above and beyond?
Well, we
those
put them in the
numbers?
budget, but
Right, yeah, we put just a number in the budget. We have the 500,000 in the vehicular equipment line.
But I thought we approved some.
Now, we talked about it last year, about doing it, the budget was approved, and that was kind of, give the directors, the department heads the ability to buy, but we never, we just kind of talked
there
about it.
hasn't been anything available to buy. So.
Hasn't anything available, and then the other stuff too, which comes out of chips, it's the same thing, like, we canceled the plow truck that we ordered last year, because they ended up saying it was gonna be done in 2023. So we're looking to buy 2 out of chips this year, 2 trucks and a mower. We haven't bought a mower in probably 10, 12 years, I think. But again, we got the price quotes from the Western Star dealer, and they were good for, I think, 15 days, 15 or 30 days, something like that. And then Swax, who does all our plow equipment, they've still got our equipment from the last truck, and he's going to honor that price. But we would have to, the equipment to outfit the new truck, which is the same equipment, has gone up about $25,000 to $30,000. So we actually have a $25,000 difference between the 2 trucks just based on the plow equipment. And I don't know where the price of the truck itself will be by the time we, go through the process. And now, like I said, that I'm going to do out of CHIPS money, so it doesn't really affect our budget, but it obviously affects.
Still a procurement question.
It's right, exactly.
So Jim is here. How do you want to handle that?
If you guys are okay with a resolution with a not to exceed number.
Which we've done on some other types of contracts in the past. Usually when we're buying a truck, you get a price and
So long as when we actually buy it, we document that we're either, if it's a state contract or whatever
Right.
we're doing, so we're
Yep.
following current rules that way. I don't have a-
They're on state contract, right?
The plow truck and all that is. The loader, I believe the mower we found on state
but they're
contract.
still
Like I
changing
said,
those prices
the
every 30
smaller
days.
stuff we couldn't find up until just recently. OGS said that they're starting to get some bids, because we were looking to, if we had to, we were gonna have to actually put a bid spec in the paper, and what we were looking for, and go that route, based on the procurement policy, but it doesn't look like we're gonna have to do that, but we're gonna try and put in our mini bid, a 90-day guarantee. Whether anybody will bid on that,
right.
that's the other question, but, so that's just kind of the problem we're having, and like I said, I'm sure everybody's having the same issues. I know the county highway superintendent's thread, it's the same thing, so I just kind of wanted to discuss that and see what your thoughts were on it.
I don't think we have an option, we have to,
No,
we
right.
have to approve it too.
And you gotta get something ordered or you're never gonna get anything. That's, you know, if you
Right,
don't,
right.
if you don't sign the deal with somebody, you're not gonna get any, you know.
Yeah, as it stands, cab and chassis on the big trucks right now are a year out,
Yeah,
you know,
And we've been hearing that.
yeah,
which works, it works okay with chips because chips money you can roll over,
right.
you know. And I know this year we encumbered the money for
Right.
the trucks last year that we still haven't gotten yet. So,
They said it wouldn't be here till February.
right. Yeah, it was January, then it was
What kind of
February.
mower were you thinking of going with?
What's that?
John Deere, or what were you guys, what kind of?
We were looking at a New Holland.
Okay,
Everything we've had up to this point is John Deere,
right,
and we were looking to get away from it.
yeah.
But again, you know, we got we found one on something on OGSP. But we haven't committed
Got
to anything.
four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive? or-
Four-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive.
So this is, you got two big trucks you wanna get, but then you need pickup trucks too.
Yeah, we haven't bought pickup trucks, you know, crew pickup trucks in
Right.
4 or 5 years, I think. Maybe 3-4 years, yeah. A couple foreman's trucks and crew pickup trucks. And then another crew, we call them a binder, you know, crew cab, small dump truck
Yeah.
for the crews.
So do you wanna bring a resolution next month to buy one of those and put a number and say not to exceed, or do you need to?
Yeah, I'll work on it for next month's meeting, so I can get the most updated price on the plow trucks
Okay,
and the most updated price on the mower and all that, and then go from there. And I'll try and get an idea where, I don't wanna ask the dealer where they think that the price might go, because they're gonna give me a high number. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know, but at least kinda get an idea. If I can look and see where it's gone from a few months ago when we started looking to where it is now, maybe I can get an idea where it'll be, you know, 2 months from now.
Yeah.
No, you're probably right.
It won't be lower.
Oh, I know, unfortunately, I know it won't be lower.
although you never know,
What did SWAC have there, that went up 25,000?
They do the dump body.
So he's got the dump body there?
The plow,
Yeah,
the wing, the center blade, the sander, all
Oh,
the sander equipment,
okay.
the computer. He does all that.
he's got all that there?
Yeah, all we and when we were doing the internationals, Funks and Zwax worked together and
Right,
they'd each put their numbers together and give us one bid. So when we did that for this last international, when we had to cancel, you know, Frank ordered the equipment
right,
and then the truck never came. So he said he's honoring that price for that equipment because he's already ordered it and I assume received it there
right,
in his shop.
right.
so how long is it gonna take to get a Western Star truck too?
The last time we checked, was the same dealer, I believe that Stuyvesant got theirs from, they were looking at about a year.
That's where Jolene's got a quote there for a Western Star single axle, and it's a
Yeah,
year,
we've been working on the solid waste stuff
Right.
and the highway stuff together, and I think there might have been, is there anything for you, Brian, that they
Yeah,
were
got
working on?
one column
Small
like
stuff.
I'm hoping, like he said.
Yeah, and we try and do it all together right out of the one
Okay.
office, and it makes it a little easier.
So we're doing our due diligence to shop around and do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was it, that's all I have, actually.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Any questions?
Did you ever get your death
Yes, we did.
at a reasonable rate?
Yes, we did. However, he gave us a hard time on everything else once he did not. He missed the bid and blamed us for it, and now he won't give us anything. So, I already
Who was
talked to
that
the.
through? Who was that?
It was Paulson. I've already talked to, Chris Watts down in the attorney's office to see what if there's anything we can do, so we're kinda working on that. It's only till the end of April anyways, and then the new company, but he said we can start going to the new company now if we have to get stuff, cause, I mean, there's stuff we need,
Right,
you know? So-
can't be without it, no.
Right, and I mean, I understand the predicament they're all in, especially when it comes to oil.
Yep.
We're watching, I had a pretty good talk.
They only
the
got
other
so
day.
much, and they can sell it to somebody for more, it's,
Yeah, and we're really watching the asphalt index too. I talked to Kyle Russo the other day, and he's working on updated quotes for our paving projects for the spring, and he wants to make sure he gets them as close as they're gonna be, because every day they're. So. All right, thank you.
okay. Next we have solid waste. Jolene is on vacation, so she sent Ray.
I'll be covering it today for her. So the solid waste master plan has been issued, and public hearing took place back on March 9th. A copy of the plan can be located on the county's website. So currently they're in a 45-day comment period, so the public has the opportunity of providing comments in writing. Once those comments are received, they're all due by April 23rd. Once those comments are received, then Bart and Judas will get together with Jolene, address any of the substantive comments, and then resubmit to DEC for approval, as well as the Board of Supervisors as well. So that is in the works. But again, if anybody is interested in taking a look at it, it is located on the county website. Top load building, I'll provide an update during my engineer's update. Food and scrap collection, so the department apparently is trying to work with Kinderhook and trying to find some local vendors. So they're going to try to continue with that to try to obtain those food scraps in the Kinderhook and Chatham stations. They're going to see what options they have available for the Germantown area. And apparently they're working with the Climate Smart community folks to try to help organize that.
There's been some interest in it.
Yeah, yep. Collection bins for that food scrap will be out on April 9th at each one of the stations, and in the meantime, they've gone ahead and they've provided education materials at each one of the stations to educate the public and any of the patrons coming in. The hazardous home waste event, that's scheduled for Saturday, May 7th at the county highway garage. That's again on 23B. So that's going to occur from 8 to 12. And she has provided information to each one of the county clerks as far as that information, as well as the county website as well. So hopefully those county clerks are already providing it on their local websites also.
Ray, coming back to the collection bins, what do they look like? What are the dimensions? Do you have any?
I don't know. I know they're very small, because I know in the past she hasn't gotten a lot of scrap, a lot of food scrap.
Right, okay.
I expected a huge hopper, and I went to Chatham, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Is that right?
But then she said there was, limited participation, so there's no reason in having a stacking
Yeah.
pad.
exactly. Yeah, so it is very small.
Okay.
Again, if it gains traction
Yeah?
and they start to fill up, then she can always increase the size.
Right.
Exactly.
I think in the first 60 days or so, we got 17 pounds or something of food scrap.
And that was countywide.
Countywide.
Well, 2 locations in the county, yeah, right. Most people do it in their backyard. That's what we're finding out from the Climate Smart,
Yeah.
if you care to do it.
So upgrade to the stations, so currently the bid packages are out for the compactors. Those will be coming in on April 8th, so we actually have been getting some requests for information from various contractors, so we're hoping to get some decent bids on those compactor units. It is anticipated that the contractor go for about 90 to 120 days, so we do anticipate getting that in this year. And it's going to be interesting to try to work that together with the repaving that has to take place. Working with Tony and Highway, trying to get that completed. So I know that she is working with Colarusso to get information regarding the paving as well as costs. And
Once
again,
you have some of those firmer numbers, could you share them with Jim? We talked to Jim today about money we had allocated, we had planned to borrow that and break, and I want to see where we are in reality.
Sure. Yeah, I know, again, the estimates that were provided last year, those are out the window just based on petroleum costs and so forth. So she's trying to get updated numbers.
What do we have for a paver?
Calabrese.
Oh, you guys don't have you don't own a paver?
No.
Years ago we had
Clement Carnival, so that is scheduled for Saturday, July 16th from 10 to 4. So that's again free of charge to anyone interested. Should be a nice event for the county. So that's both free to the vendors as well as any attendees. Anybody that's interested, information regarding the county carnival is located on the county website. Just look under county carnival. And she provides information as far as what's available for anybody that's coming in. If anyone has kids, it'd be a nice opportunity for the kids to go out, have some educational programs.
There's a lot of interest in it, so I think it's unique. The fairgrounds was very nice to work with us and donated the use of the ground so that we could do this.
She only has one resolution request, and that's to fill full-time labor position, grade 11A, base salary of $41,470, and
Move it.
that's due to resignation.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
I can actually sign it in real person, you know, I don't have to use Matt's electronic signature.
That was it for
Any
solid
questions for
waste.
Jolene? So call her on her cell phone.
Now, it's gonna be all those satellite transfer stations that are gonna get new compressors?
Compactors, correct, yes. Yeah, there are a total of 8 altogether.
We never made any headway on narrowing it down.
No, remember we had those meetings and everybody wanted to keep them, so we said, well, we gotta fund them to fix them, and everybody voted to keep them and put money into fixing them.
All eight.
All eight.
I don't have one to give up, so.
I don't either, 'cause it didn't really bother me, but, you know.
We ain't giving ours up either.
Both sides.
Right, and that's been the consensus of it, you know. So we said, well, if we're gonna keep them, we gotta fix them, that's why we
Yeah.
plan to bond some money to repave them this year and put new compactors in them. Let's see where that goes, we should've done it last year. All right, next we have facilities.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Brian.
All right, work schedule. The main things kind of, MIS, we renovated the back room to add more space. So this way, MIS can bring all their people back. It's basically done. New electric, put a new panel in, stripped the floor, sealed it. So it came out nice, they're all happy. Put a couple of workstations in, so. As you can see, we finally did the carpet and painted in here.
Great job.
Yeah, it came out good. There's the
We gotta thank Kelly for that.
Yeah.
Think about Kelly.
designer, so. Courthouse, we're in the process of, we just got done, we had to build a platform for a future hearing room in the basement. They sprung this on me at the 11th hour, so, for, I guess, parole hearings, they're gonna be doing them, and so, we got that done. Let's see here, soil and water, we went through and replaced all the exit and emergency lights. The last power outage, we had some issues, so we just swapped them all out. Wastewater treatment plant, we had both pumps clogged on the 28th, but welcome in there, no more.
Now up and running.
We should be all right now, right?
Yeah, so, it's probably the last time I'll ever have to report that,
Hope you're right.
Yeah. Airport, just the normal, lighting maintenance, and then we do have an issue with the large hangar door, so we're working on that. But that's pretty much it, and I got a couple resolutions. Any questions?
What was the status of the charging station for the
For Beta?
aerial units?
Oh, for the airport?
Yeah.
So they're currently submitting information to, that would be National Grid up in that area. So they actually sent me information for an easement that is required since the county owns the property. I went ahead and signed that, and then it goes back to National Grid for design. Once that's done, they'll actually run a brand new service facility, put a new transformer in, and then Beta can pick up putting their equipment at the site. But right now, it's in National Grid's hands.
And they're quick.
Oh, yes. Especially with new services.
Yeah. Great. No, they're quick with the bill, though. Yeah.
Okay, the first one I got is to merge the janitorial and tool accounts for all the facilities into one account. It just makes it easier for ordering and doing supplies. And Jim okayed it, so.
I think I'll move that one forward. I'll send it.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
next one is, due to a resignation, I'm looking to fill full-time bookkeeper's position at a grade 12A, whereas to continue the operational needs of the department. And it helps me, so I don't have to do the billing and,
On top of everything else.
yeah.
I'm
I'm actually getting good at being a bookkeeper now.
What's the pay rate of that?
Whoa, you hear what he said?
No, I didn't.
Well, he gained acumen in bookkeeping, this is a way to save us $36,000.
Hey, I told you not to say
No,
that.
no, I was thinking to demote myself and just be a bookkeeper, it's a lot easier, you know?
It's costing us that much to fix all his mistakes.
I only had like 3. So Hetty gets me on
We
it.
have a motion.
We got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Give Brian some help up there.
Yeah. And then the last one is authorization for the facilities department to auction surplus items through calendar year 2022.
Such as your green chairs.
The green chairs.
Green chairs.
Income, I like it.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
You
Brian.
let us know what you get for that, won't you?
Yes.
Green chairs?
There's some sentimental value there.
Well, the
Only
sheriff's
that.
department got a couple, they, we gave them
Oh
some,
my
so.
God. The chairman was crying
The
over
nostalgia.
it, just so y'all know.
Yeah, he said he bought them,
He did, he bought them 40 years ago.
you should tell me he could take them all home, we wouldn't care. Tell Darlene, keep her car out of the garage, and we'll just,
They
you know.
were awful, oh my God.
Well, I tore the tools and adjust them, but every time
Oh my God.
they take it on me, you know?
He was moving around,
I
yeah.
got a bad back, you know what I mean?
Well, these are pretty nice, though.
And maybe supervisor could take one back, and that way you have it at your meeting, wouldn't it?
Each one of
I'll
us.
donate mine to
No.
the
To take our chair.
Let him sell it at auction, tell me how much he got for
Imagine
it, you know.
if I brought that chair into town hall? No.
Yeah.
Or we have to take them to solid
We
waste
got
and pay to
simple
get rid of
chairs,
them.
Turn it, just-
They're the best.
All right, now we have engineering up.
So engineering agenda, so federally aided bridge and highway projects, Copake Hamlet, had a lot of discussions with the town of Copake, had some informational meetings. We actually have an informational meeting to the general public coming up on April 9th. So that's happening at 10 a.m. at the town hall. A flyer's been made, been distributed, so thank you very much. It's been posted onto the town website and also distributed to the local businesses. So we're hoping to get a good turnout and provide an overview of that project and get some feedback. So that'll help move that preliminary design process along, so we can get it submitted to DOT and get that moving along. So again, right now, that is slated for 2024, and I believe the town is willing to perhaps
Yes.
push back their bicentennial. So it'll be a bicentennial plus one. And I think that in the end is a good move.
Yeah, no, people are open to that. The town historian said, do you know when you celebrate the Queen's birthday? Doesn't matter, you just put it there.
What she says.
So with that theory, we can say, okay, fine.
I like that
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
And thank you very,
For the engineering or anything?
Oh, yes. And we're going around to the businesses to try to pave the way.
sure.
And mostly it's pretty enthusiastic.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a big change, no question. So I appreciate the efforts that
Yeah.
the town is making as far as at least, making that initial connection. Even though we've had those meetings, I think that's a great idea to go with those businesses.
Well, what was happening? You had like a big curve when you came in from, what was it, 7 or 7A?
Well, it was the entire,
These are all like diner and gas station?
yeah, and the issue is actually with the clock tower itself. So there's a big island in the center, and that's problematic for any type of traffic movement, especially with the camping grounds where people are bringing trailers and things like
Right.
that. So we were running into a real significant issue trying to make that work. So the simplest solution, actually going back, based on
Yeah, yeah.
historic information, going back to a T intersection, still having the clock tower, hopefully keeping it exactly where it is. If not, we may just need to shift it a few feet to provide enough clearance for safety so we don't damage it. But it's going back to a T intersection, which is the best layout for that area. And actually, the result will be nice because it'll result in a small pocket park. So that way, it'll again give the community the opportunity of putting a gazebo there, you know, having
Christmas
small
tree.
items, yeah, Christmas trees, things like that, yeah,
So,
absolutely.
so somebody in town, I think I know who, was spreading a rumor that we were gonna move the clock, as in remove it. So somebody came in and I said, well, actually, we're selling it to Hillsdale.
Yeah.
Because we've had a clock for 80 years and they've never had a clock.
There you go.
We would like to have a clock and we're gonna, we'll talk about price.
Perfect answer.
Yeah, so we look forward to that meeting.
But then at the time, you're offering them free maintenance for the next one.
That's right.
Remember at one time we were all Livingston Manor or something, so, you know. We're all
Fish and Game Road, so County Route 18, Fish and Game Road, that project's currently out to bid, and bids are due March 29th, so they'll have information for the board at the next meeting. Bridge New York program, so we currently have 2 projects that were awarded late last year, and currently we sent requests for qualification statements out to 15 engineering firms that are on the New York State DOT Region 8 list, and we received 8 replies back for the 2 projects. We split them up as 2 separate projects. We want to be able to see how consultants are moving forward with it. Again, this is a statement of qualification only, so again, we can decide to lump them together and we may get a better price, but we're evaluating, you know, as though they're separate right now.
But you
Once-
could end up with different consultants for either one.
Correct. Correct. Again, because right now it's only qualifications. DOT does not allow us to make a decision on price
Until you can,
until we actually go through the
Pick one.
qualification. Yep.
you get funny rules.
Yes, indeed. As far as other engineering activities, so the wastewater facility, so as of March 3rd, the wastewater facility became operational, was up and running. So, so far so good. Greenport is receiving the waters. Thank you very much.
No problems or anything?
No, small little items, you know, so again, going through troubleshooting and breaking and things of that nature. So they found some wiring that was mislabeled and just wired incorrectly. So as an example, generators are scheduled to come out every Wednesday, go through an exercise, so we know that they're operating, we know that they're working. And so every time that they turn on, it sends a signal out to Brian and his men that they are running. There's also another alarm that in case the power fails and the generators fail to operate, it's a generator fail. So those 2 contacts were switched. So Brian kept on getting generator fail
Fail.
instead of generator run. So just little things like that. Yeah, just little things. Yeah.
Any word from our neighbor?
My understanding, I have not heard, although I do know that Rob Fitzsimmons, the county attorney, did reach out to their attorney as late as last Thursday requesting an update.
Okay.
And he continues to be reassured that he's getting a schedule, but I have not heard anything lately.
No issues out there?
No, but I will say there is stuff still in there. I fished one out today, so,
Thank you.
yeah. Actually, I'll get you a picture of it. I left it outside. Outside the pump.
Jeez.
So, yeah, it looked like a rag, you know, so there's
Thank
stuff
you.
still getting in there.
Yeah, and I'll continue to relay the fact that the committee continues to ask about the status of that, so I'll get what's going on today.
Yeah.
Thanks, Greg.
Greenport Transfer Station, as far as the top load building, so we had a pre-construction meeting that took place last week. Thanks to Highway and Tony and his men working with Solid Waste to actually provide some barricades and isolate the proposed construction area. So now that's isolated from the public, so they can't go in that area. It has provided a little bit of a traffic issue as far as trying to redirect people to where the new traffic route is going to be and currently is. So I know Jolene was out last Saturday just before leaving, and she worked again with Tony. So thanks, Tony, as far as letting Solid Waste use the digital signs, again, to help promote, you know, that traffic. They're gonna continue this Saturday, again, Saturday being the busiest day for them. They're going to have additional staff out there this Saturday to help, again, redirect people to make sure that they get used to the new traffic pattern, since it's new. Once that takes place, then they won't need to have it, you know, week after week. But contractor, he is mobilizing this week, and he anticipates starting his excavation tomorrow, now that he's got his clearance as far as call before you dig. And then building is anticipated to be delivered the second week of April.
So metal is okay?
Yeah, so again.
Materials, I should say?
Yeah, materials, keep in mind, that was one of the reasons it got pushed back from
Right,
being done.
I know
this
that.
Last
fall,
year, right, yeah.
Is because of the lack of materials. But yes,
Right.
everything so far is slated, it's going to be done in 2 shipments. First shipment will be the building itself.
Yep.
And then the second one will be the roofing panels and the
Right.
skin.
How much concrete's being used, and is that price really increased on that, or not?
It has, but it, there's not a significant amount because again, it's a pole barn construction, so really the concrete is really the slab itself. And we have worked with the contractor to work out some grade issues that we found out into the field. So far, on budget, the contractor's not come back indicating that there's any change.
It was great that we had Ray on board to help with all that.
Definitely.
Yeah, and again, we are handling that engineering, as
Yeah.
far as the construction admin and
Right.
inspection and so forth, we're doing that in-house rather than having.
Saving some money there, yes.
So that's saving about $20,000. Office of the Aging, originally, there was a meeting scheduled for the 5th, that's now been postponed. Still working on putting together, rather than submitting the information on Office of the Aging, because I know that there are many supervisors that still have questions on the overall number of buildings that the county owns and the status of those. So I'm working on that, and I'd like to put that information together and get that to committee as well as the board of supervisors, so they have an understanding of the number of buildings, where they're located, what their purpose is, what their age is, and actually value, and also what the capital investment needs to be done based on old reports that have been generated, just to give a sense of what's out there. And actually plan for the future as far as what you're going to need to invest in. Okay. So I hope to get that information to committee for the April meeting. That's my goal at this point.
Quick question, Mike Tucker mentioned Lot 8 again last night. You may have some buyer for it, but there's no way that the proposed footprint for this new building fits on that lot, right?
Lot.
No. We had looked at that
That's too
before.
small.
Oh, okay.
Just because we already own it, I was just gonna say.
Right.
you just
Oh,
toss it
no, I'm
around.
sorry, that one was way too small.
Yeah,
Way
yeah.
too small for what we were proposing.
And a lot of this, the pros location is contiguous to the other parcel
Yeah.
that we own,
Yeah.
so, But yeah, Lot 8, we did look at that a long time ago.
Yeah, and it was too small. This one, again, as Supervisor Knott has indicated, it does provide a lot of benefits since
Yeah.
the county owns the adjacent parcel that's contiguous to it. So there is opportunity for overflow parking and, some staff parking, additional staff parking, vehicle parking and things of that nature.
Oh, yeah, I'm all for it, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to buy something we didn't need to.
No, understood. As far as county airport, runway 3N and parallel taxi, bids were open for that particular project. That came in substantially under the anticipated budget amount. So originally it was budgeted, or project estimate was for $750,000. The construction cost came in at $360, so I do have a resolution for consideration for the committee on that. The information has all been submitted to the FAA for review and approval, so again, the actual my apologies, the request, the resolution request is pending the FAA approval, obviously.
We have a typo there, if there's something commemorating Dean Knox.
So that's the last item, yeah. So I actually have a general, so other than that, I have just general resolutions. The first and foremost being a general resolution that would allow dedication and installation of a sign on the Valley View Bash Brook Bridge. So that's a bridge that's currently slated for construction towards the end of this year. We actually received correspondence from Copake
The Rojan
and
Historical
as
Society.
well as the Rojan
Historical.
Historical Society requesting that be considered based on his family involvement in the area and so forth, and obviously with all the years that Dean has had in the county and all the work that Dean has done. Again, he has a career that spans 42 years with the county, and his tenure as far as director, he was involved with overseeing projects, obtaining funding, overseeing the construction of numerous bridge, roadway, airport projects in excess of over $40 million. So again, I put that up for consideration for the committee to allow that to take place.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Thank you all. Next, financial resolution is a resolution authorizing the chairman of the Board of Supervisors to award and execute a contract for runway 3N and parallel taxi rehabilitation at the Columbia County Airport for the lowest responsible bidder, Riffenberg Construction Inc. of Troy, New York, in the amount of $360,115.
One,
We haven't used that before?
You gave it to me.
Oh, yes, we have.
Oh.
did I give it to you in there?
Yeah.
Somehow I
Oh.
got scanned in a different order.
Oh, my apologies.
Oh. I didn't read it,
Next
but
one,
yes.
right? Yeah, okay.
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Real quick, first, like, you here.
Which one do you have next?
Well, I don't know, because I have to go back to one too.
Oh, okay. Well, go back to the other one, because actually the one before that should be associated actually with that runway 3 construction, is that correct?
Is that, yeah, runway
Yes, it
three?
is.
Okay.
So this particular resolution is requesting authorization of the chairman of Columbia County Board of Supervisors to execute a consultant agreement for the construction, observation, and administration of the Columbia County Airport runway 3N and partial parallel taxiway rehab with Passero Associates of Rochester in the amount of $99,747, pending issuance of federal FAA grant. So again, these are the consultants that we have been utilizing, and they've been doing a wonderful job for us.
I'll second.
Got a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
This one also has to do with the airport, and this is a resolution requesting authorization by the chairman of the Columbia County Board of Supervisors to extend an additional 1 year the termination date of contract C416-18 on-call airport engineering services 2021 between Passero Associates and Columbia County to increase the contract amount not to exceed $33,000. So the county currently has had a ongoing on-call contract with Passero for the original amount was $18,000, and that was over a 3-year period. Every year we've been extending it. We are requesting that a new extension be provided, and the maximum not to exceed amount be $15,000. And that's for items that are outside of their normal capital projects.
Right.
So again, when we had the item as it pertained to the charging stations and so
Right,
forth, we did
right.
have to have some information or get some information from them. In the instance with the sewer project, again, since it was going over the airport land, we needed to consult with them. So from time to time, it's when we call on them for review or for input. You know, we're the ones that try when that is being spent as far as it can.
And you feel that makes sense with everything?
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
You know, you're involved with that.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Good. Move it.
Motion, we have a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Last resolution request is authorizing the chairman of the Board of Supervisors to execute a professional service agreement with CPL Architectural Engineering Planning in the amount of $12,500 for the design of the replacement of the existing underground diesel fuel storage, UTS, and pumping system with a new above-ground storage and pumping system at the county DPW facility located on 23B. So this item has been budgeted. CPL, again, very familiar with gas and diesel. They do a lot of schools, so they're constantly involved with those type of projects. Similarly, with the B&L multi-bridge project, this is for design and specifications only.
Right.
We plan on handling the contract administration
Oh,
in-house. Okay, so we'll get a saving. I did get a quote from them. The contract administration phase was going to be about $10,000. So we're gonna handle.
I'm writing this down, you know.
Right.
I'm
What do you say?
I was gonna say,
At budget time, I'm going to be writing it down. Everybody hears about this. But yeah, so we're gonna handle that in-house to save the money.
Ray said if we buy him a CAD drawing machine, he could do all this himself, too.
Exactly, right.
That's another-
And that's why.
That's another thing that's coming.
That's why I'm gonna save all this
Right,
information.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, because, again, I do believe that if provided the software and some time that we could actually do this work in-house.
So what is that, what kind of expense are we talking to get into?
As far as the CAD programs and some plotters and things like that, you're probably looking at maybe $5,000 to $6,000.
Did our own job.
Yeah.
Plus,
That's what we're waiting for.
Well, we also need some personnel as well. Again, Barbara does a great job and she has the ability to work part-time, so again, that's the reason, understanding that this project, like others, is budgeted for this year,
right,
and we only have part-time help.
it would be nice to do that in-house though, if we could.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially a fuel tank, that's kind of like pull it up the shelf.
Not necessarily, I mean, the contractors all want drawings, because I initially started this process. Exactly. I originally started this whole process, we actually obtained some information from Highway, Tony's crew had gotten and provided some background information. We started reaching out to some vendors. Nobody wanted to touch anything unless they saw drawings. So, that's the reason.
The liability.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's just where it's at.
So I had a motion and a second, all in favor?
And that's it for engineering.
Ray, I had jotted this down to go back to solid waste. Jolene had called me today and talked about this truck that she had a quote on buying there, the single axle truck. That was something we were gonna buy, but they couldn't get it till next year. And her question was, do I order it and wait a year? Had a conversation with Jimmy earlier, he thought we probably should. Jolene also wanted to buy some trucks, and I don't know, Tony, do you know where she is with that? I think she was saying if we can't get this year, do we buy pickups instead? But I think from talking to Jimmy, if we don't order it, we're never gonna get it, you know, so.
Seems like there's such a wait time on these things that if you don't take a stand somewhere, you may get it earlier. things-
Right.
Quite
But I just don't wanna buy
honestly,
trucks, just to buy trucks,
I
you
was
know?
gonna say, even if she decides not to buy the big truck and go with pickup trucks instead, you might not get them for a year either, the way
Okay.
everything's going,
So it's all being the same, yeah.
Yeah.
She had said she heard that they, and again, I just had a quick conversation on the phone with her, but she had said that she heard they were becoming available,
It's
so.
two different type of vehicles, though.
Oh, I know that, but she's just saying she's got a bunch of pickups need replacing too, and, she did say that some of that capital money that we had budgeted, which we budgeted 200,000 for, vehicle, you know, equipment, some of that was gonna go to containers, and she thought they were available
Right.
this year, we need some roll-offs.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
You know,
And I think it part of, kind of goes back to the issue that Tony's been dealing with, again, as far as vendors keeping their price and ordering and so forth.
Yeah.
So I believe if we move forward as the committee has
Yeah,
indicated with the
you're gonna
cap,
have to, or we're never gonna get what
then
you
we
want.
can continue to move forward off those type of purchases.
so you think we should order this truck anyway, and then,
My opinion is, and actually I spoke to a couple of dealers about it too, and they're saying, you know,
yeah,
what's happening is they're not getting all their parts in, so they get an engine or a frame or this, that, the other thing, you know, and then they're holding the build up because of that. So they're not building that truck till they get everything together to do
Right.
it on, you know? I think if you don't take a stand and order it at one point, we're never gonna get them, you know? I mean, you'll get them when things like back up again, but that can
Right.
still take a while, so.
yeah.
Some vehicles have been coming in earlier, guys have been ordering.
Right.
That I have heard of, you know, so. Because they're looking more serious at that, so.
Right, and you might, like you said, you might order it thinking it's gonna be a year and things.
They
get
come in
a
at
little
8
better.
months.
Right, yeah, right.
Yeah. That has been happening here,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. You have anything other on that, Ray? I didn't know if she talked to you
No,
about that.
no, I didn't have anything further on that.
I know she's been wrestling with things and working with Highway on those things, but. All right, anything else to come to Public Works? God, it's enjoyable to see her. Ray will have a bigger presentation for us next month. I apologize for that. We were gonna try and pull that together for April 5th,
Yeah.
but,
But I think this makes sense.
Yeah, this makes.
A lot more sense for everybody to get in the context as far as all of the buildings and get an understanding of the responsibilities and liabilities that the county has as far as the number of buildings and the long-term capital investments that will need to be made.
and again, already with that building, you know, we started with OFA, then we said, what if we add the healthcare consortium, and if we do that, it jacks up the price, and we wanna know that we're doing the right thing. You know, we're doing all that so that we can get rid of the Philmont Kitchen building that's there today, as well as 610 State Street, that's another building that, you know, so we could get rid of two older buildings that aren't serving the county well and do one new one, but we're still shuffling people around there
Yeah,
looking
try to
at
do it in
that.
such a way where we can shuffle everything and make it work.
Make sure that it works.
Make sure.
Was the engineer able to ballpark a full basement? Any figures on that?
Yeah, he did include it, I don't have the breakdown, but he did include, at least a partial, he actually provided for a partial,
Okay.
basement in this building.
That sounds compelling to try to do that if you're there already, but.
Absolutely, again, the difference in excavation is going to be minor unless you start hitting rock or something of that nature. But other than that, I would agree. Again, just based on all of the departments, you know, even when we were going through the programming of this particular building, but the more I speak with, again, whether it's highway, whether it's facilities, it doesn't matter, everybody's looking for storage. And if there's the ability of providing a dry basement area that could be utilized for storage by various departments, you could put up cages, so each one has their own lockable area, so it's only to them. I think it makes sense. You're already gonna be putting in an elevator to get to the second floor, so just extend that elevator down into the basement. I agree. It makes the most sense.
Mine's always needing space.
Oh, gosh.
So he needs a whole building, you know? When you decide to re-engineer the engineering office over there in Highway, then we'll make more space for them. See, it never ends, I'm
I
telling
need an
you.
elevator there, I'm getting tired of the stairs.
That's it, yeah, that's a long ways.
Work
isn't
out
it?
every
That's
morning.
quite the flight of stairs.
Anything else come before Public Works? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion second, all in favor?